Hello, welcome to Cleekly. Today, we're going to introduce how to design an escort quest in Cleekly. Escort quest is a quest during which players are tasked with protecting a non-playable character or object from harm until a certain goal is met. Let's see what game effects we can achieve at the end of this tutorial. When Rem approaches the NPC, the quest info UI pops up. If we reject the quest, the UI disappears. If we enter the region again, the quest info UI pops up again as the quest is still available. Now we accept and start the quest. When the car unit dies, we can go back to the NPC and retake the quest. In addition, we can see a quest reminder UI all the time during the game. At different quest stages, the UI displays different information, and we can click the button to hide or unhide the UI. When the car unit arrives at the endpoint alive, the quest is completed. First, let's do a quick breakdown of the project. First, we need to be able to interact with the NPC. We need a UI to display the quest information and allow the players to choose whether to accept the quest or not. In the subsequent quest process, we need to escort a car to the endpoint. The car needs to be able to move towards the endpoint by itself. In addition, to make the quest more challenging, we can add some combat elements in this process. Therefore, we need to achieve these functions: reset the quest when the car is destroyed, spawn enemies when the car arrives at a specific area, and complete the quest when the car arrives at the endpoint. Lastly, in order for players to be able to track the progress of the quest, we need a UI to display the quest's detailed information at every stage throughout the quest. According to our needs, we can break down the functions into 4 parts: quest assign, quest execution, quest result, and UI optimization. Now, let's see how to achieve these functions. In the first part, quest assign, we need to determine how to show the quest to players and the corresponding results of players accepting or rejecting the quest. To show the quest to players, we place the NPC on the map and draw a circled region centered on the NPC. We also need a UI to show the quest. The quest info UI includes 3 essential parts: quest description, yes option, and no option. You can also add character portraits, pictures of tick and cross to make the UI more beautiful. Then, add UI events for the 2 options. We can name the 2 events accept quest and reject quest. At last, remember to make the quest info UI invisible initially. Now, we need to use triggers to display the quest and corresponding results of players accepting or rejecting the quest. The first trigger is NPC region event. When players enter the NPC area, we pop up a UI with the quest information to them. The second trigger is quest accepted. If the players accept the quest, we hide the quest info UI and send a custom event quest starts. The custom event is to mark the beginning of the quest. It will also serve as the event in the trigger of a quest execution. We also need to turn off the trigger NPC region event as the quest is taken. The last trigger is quest rejected. If the players reject the quest, we only need to hide the quest info UI and keep the trigger NPC region event on. This is the complete process of part 1, quest assign. The second part is quest execution. In this part, we will need to design the quest. The quest is to escort a car from the starting point to the endpoint, with a combat point on the way. Now, the quest execution stage can be divided into 3 stages. Stage 1, starting point to combat point through path 1. Stage 2, combat. Stage 3, combat point to endpoint through path 2. First, we need to draw the points and paths on the map. When the players accept the quest, that is the custom event quest starts, sent. We create the car that needs to be escorted at the starting point, a stored and variable NPC car. Then, we issue command to the car to move along path 1. First, the car unit should be alive all the way. For real-time monitoring of NPC car status, we use timer and if condition to check whether it is alive every 1 second. The quest fails if it dies. We remove the timer and send a custom event, quest fail. If the condition is met, the car is alive, we add another if condition to determine whether the NPC car is near the combat point. When it is true, we remove the timer and send a custom event, quest stage 2 starts. For this custom event, quest stage 2 starts, we also need to add a new parameter and set it to be the variable NPC car. NPC car is a local variable. It can only be called in current trigger and cannot be used in others, but it is still useful in the following triggers. So, we need to pass it with the custom event. Stage 2 of the quest is about combat. When quest stage 2 starts, we need to receive the parameter sent with the event first. Then, we create enemy monsters near the combat point and attack the car. Then, we need to determine whether the car unit is alive and whether all the enemy monsters have been killed. Same as before, we use timer and if condition to check whether the car is alive every 1 second. Remove the timer and send the custom event quest fail if the car is dead. When the car is alive, add another if condition to determine whether all the enemy monsters are dead. Remove the timer and send a custom event quest stage 3 starts when it is true. When quest stage 3 starts, the car moves to endpoint following path 2. It is similar to quest stage 1. The quest fails if the car dies. The players complete the quest successfully if the car is alive and it arrives near endpoint. Then, we end the game for player 1 as win. So far, we have finished designing the quest. The third part of the Escort quest is about quest result. In Part 2 quest execution, when the NPC car dies, we send a custom event quests fail repeatedly. So, what will happen when the quest fails? You can design it based on your own game design. In this example, we designed the Escort quest as it can be tried multiple times. So, when the players fail to complete the quest, they can go back to the NPC and take the quest again. That is, when the custom event quest fail received, we turn on the trigger NPC region event again. The Escort quest design is almost done. This is the complete process of this Escort quest. Now we can add the quest reminder UI. The quest reminder UI will have 4 states. Default state. The quest reminder UI should be in default state before quest starts and when quest fails. The UI can display information such as no quests in progress. Then, at different stages of the quest, the UI should display corresponding information. For example, during stage 1, the quest reminder UI can display escort the car to the designated destination. During stage 2, it can display defeat all the enemy monsters and protect the car. During stage 3, it can display it's not safe here, hurry up to the destination. We can also add a switch to the quest reminder UI to allow players to hide or unhide it at any time. The quest reminder UI includes a switch button, background picture, reminder title, and reminder details. As the title and the reminder details are changing according to the quest progress, we'll set the text that we want to display to players in triggers later. First, we need to set the default state of the UI. When game initializes, we set text of default state for widget title and reminder details. In this way, the UI will be in default states before the quest starts. As we clarified before, the UI should also be in default states when the quest fails. So, when quest fails, we turn on the trigger NPC region event and set text of default state for these 2 widgets too. Then, we need to set the stage 1, 2, 3 states of the UI in corresponding triggers. For example, in Quest Stage 1's trigger, the UI should be in Stage 1 state. So, we set the widget's text to be Stage 1's information. Repeat the steps to set text of these 2 widgets in Quest Stage 2 and Quest Stage 3. Last, we need to set the switch button of the UI. When the button is triggered, we need to check the status of the quest reminder UI. We can create a Boolean variable UI state to store the status of the UI. True means the UI is visible. False means it is hidden. Use if statements to determine the status of the quest reminder UI. If UI state equals true, it means the UI is visible. We hide the widget reminder from player and set UI state to be false. If the condition is not met, it means UI state equals false and the UI is hidden. So we display the widget reminder to player 1 and set UI state to be true. it's all set. Let's test the effect. In this tutorial, we complete the design and settings of an escort quest. We divide the quest into 4 parts: quest assign, quest execution, quest result, and UI optimization. We design a quest to escort a car to the endpoint, with combat, by the way. We optimize the UI to help players keep track of the ongoing quest. Escort quests is a goal-based task. It can also be a hunting quest, an escape quest, or a dating quest with NPCs at the same time. They may look different, but they all have the same underlying structure, that is, the logic of switching from one state to another. In terms of the escort quest itself, the travel path of the car can extend to MOBA games' path of spawning soldiers, and it can be upgraded from an escort quest to an offensive and defensive warfare by adding friendly and enemy AI into it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.